it's your man DJ Caveman. We back again. Another week means another episode of DJ Caveman and IronMonkey talking that shit. You know what I mean? Two old ass unks over here talking about the shit that goes on in the world from the perspective of an unk, which don't mean uncool for all you new ass fucking new wave tight dirty shoe wearing motherfuckers. I'm a cool ass.
Unk means uncool.
I'm a cool ass. That's my name.
Ask your mother what unk means.
But man, we got a real special guest on the show today. Before we get into all the rest of it, you know what I'm saying? We like to tell everybody that our friends do dope shit, and we're having all of our dope friends come on and talk about all the dope shit they doing, you know, in the world. So this week on the show, we got filmmaker, documentary extraordinaire. She's the black lady Ken Burns.
Yes.
Oh.
Ex-pro boxer. You know, classical alumni. Yes. You know, if I had to say anything bad about her, you know, is that she's a Ravens fan. But, you know, we'll get into that. You know, welcome to the show.
Everybody got a vice.
You know, on the show with us today. You know, welcome.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for having me. This is fun.
Yeah. We got to get some.
We're not done yet.
Look, I feel like I've been here already 2 episodes.
All right.
Who's that? Who's that in the photo behind you?
Oh, I got my Grizzlies. But I got the School Days poster, and it's signed.
All right.
It's signed by Spike Lee. I used to intern for 40 Acres and a Mule.
That's what's up.
That was the first internship I got when I moved to New York. I lived in New York for like 20-something years and had many lives. And that's just really how I got into filmmaking. And I worked in television. I worked for MTV and Nickelodeon. But my passion was always documentary.
Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
I'll save my Nick Cannon jokes then.
I did work with Nick Cannon.
See. Sometimes my jokes hit a little bit too on point. People are like, how you know that? I'm like, that was just a joke.
You know, the industry is very small, so everybody knows everybody in some shape or form. So, but it's you know, corporate, working in that corporate version of the industry is rough. And it's not for me. I mean, I'll do it. I learned a lot, but you know, I like to create stuff for people to enjoy and to learn. And you know, sometimes the numbers lie. You know, ratings don't tell the whole story. So having to do work just driven on that's not fun. So, but I did enjoy. I mean, I got paid to watch TV.
Right?
That is,
that's amazing.
When I first started, my first assignment was to watch Dawson's Creek.
Oh, rest in peace, Vanderbeek.
Yeah, Vanderbeek.
Wait a minute. That was your job?
Yeah, so I worked in programming.
I don't want to wait.
And I worked in programming, and what we do is we would watch all the shows before they go on air, and we would determine like, what's the best time for it to come on, what's the best way. Do we do marathons, do we just do once a week or whatever? So I had to watch every episode of Dawson's Creek. I watched it when it premiered, but watching it like a marathon is a totally different experience. It is so depressing.
Yeah, listen, doing some things like, you watch TV for work. Yeah, it sounds cool until you have to do it. It's like people that have to travel for work. It's like, yo, I wish I had that job. Until you have that job, and then it's a job. It's work.
Everybody I know that travels for work, they're like, man, if I could just stay at home like this weekend, that would be great. I mean, but I gotta go to Miami. And you're like,
I don't nearly watch as much TV now as I used to. Like unless someone tells me you need to watch this, I'm like, oh, okay, I'll I have a handful of shows that I watch, but I had to watch Dawson's Creek, And at one time, I had to watch all of Friday Night Lights.
That was a good show, though.
It was a good show. But at the time, I wasn't like a big football person, and it was just very dramatic, and and then our signature show, because I worked for T-Nick, which is still part of Nickelodeon, but I worked for T-Nick, and our big show was Degrassi.
All right.
With Aubrey?
Yes, so Degrassi Next Generation. So I watched all of that. I watched that show so inside and out that we could be like, pull all this, all the Aubrey.
Wait, hold on. So you could have been one of them people at Comic-Con at episode 3 at Mark point 3.5.
At one point, I was season 3, episode 2 is XYZ, because I needed to know that stuff, because if something in the world happened, if there was a school shooting, I needed to call the NOC and be like, can you pull episode such and such that's supposed to air
because it had sensitive material.
Because it's going to air at 6 p.m.
And we just had a school shooting.
Yeah. So that's the kind of stuff that I had to do.
So wait.
The less glamorous stuff.
It's better than that than dealing with Nick Cannon being the gigolo that he preached himself as.
Come on, man.
He's a gigolo making lots of dough.
I do have an MTV question though.
Yeah.
Does Carson Daly really look plastic? Because on TV he looks plastic.
I never saw Carson Daly.
Because he's not real.
I did see Sway a couple of times. I did run into a lot of musicians and stuff, and people who are going to be on the show or whatever. I can confirm that Snoop Dogg smells like weed.
Oh, okay.
That's what.
Like a lot.
Okay.
Like that's his scent.
Yes, that's like his cologne. That's his body. It oozes out of his body.
Imagine if that was his cologne. Like, man, I'm tired of smoking all this weed. Everybody want me to smoke weed like it's my job.
Look,
so he got a little pump spray. I feel good.
It was lunch. It was lunchtime, and I'd gotten on the elevator after grabbing my lunch. Was gonna eat at my desk, and he gets on, tall as all get out. He had to like kneel, bend down a little bit to get in the elevator, and he was like, "What's up?" And I was just like in shock. I was like, "Hey!" But at the same time, getting out off of the contact, just being around him. And I remember,
you're like, "Hi."
I remember telling my boss, I'm like, "Yo, I was just on the elevator with Snoop, so count me out for the rest of the day."
Yeah.
He was like, "Are you high?" I was like, I feel it.
Yeah, I'm not low, that's for sure.
The only thing I could probably do is just watch TV and eat my lunch when the munchies kick in.
Basically, do your job.
Yeah, basically, right? I'm gonna go back to work now.
Yeah, you know what? I got an episode of Dawson's Creek I gotta watch.
Right.
Oh my goodness! But teenage melodramas on a binge session? Oh god damn it! I feel for you.
It would all be fresh watching.
Talking con status.
I never watched any of those shows.
Yeah.
Oh no, neither did I.
Now when I see it on like streaming services, I'm like, I just I go in there, I'm like, oh my goodness, this static.
Trigger.
PTSD
Trigger.
from Dawson's Creek.
Oh
But that was all the rage, man. Like all those was Dawson's Creek and what was the other one that was like Dawson's Creek, but
I refuse to remember them. I don't want to get teleported to that time. I know what you're talking about.
Because Dawson's Creek had Vanderbeek and motherfucking Jennifer Beals, right? Or Jessica Beals.
It had Katie Holmes.
I don't know.
Katie Holmes, yeah. The other one had Jessica Biel, and there wasn't.
Seventh Heaven. Seventh Heaven with the father.
Yeah,
that was the name of the show.
I feel like there was what's her name too? She's on that 911 show now.
Oh, Jennifer
Love Hewitt.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Listen, I'm getting teleported to a bad time now.
They had the
early 2000s.
But you know what's cool? You know, since we went to high school together, watching these shows, it did give me flashbacks to like, this is like redoing high school. And
yeah.
It was like,
oh.
And I was like, I can relate too much with this, you know, whatever.
And he's not responding to my text. I don't know what's going on. I texted him 143 and he responded, okay. Like, what?
So if anyone wanted to relive their high school years, just watch those shows on a binge watch.
Yeah, not everyone knows though, because none of us
had that kind of experience.
Right.
I think Degrassi was the closest thing to a black high school show we had.
They always
and it was Canadian.
Right?
I mean,
right?
that poor school had everything going on.
He said it was real maple syrup, but I could tell you he was a hoser. What? Not real maple syrup. What kind of drama's going on here?
I've never watched one episode of Degrassi.
Neither have I. That's why I'm making up episodes.
But you're very close. You would have fooled me.
See?
Nah, I've never watched it. That was doing the quotables. Listen, I just live near Canada.
Look, anything and everything you can think of that could happen in a high school, it happened in Degrassi.
It was like an after school special.
After school special and soap opera. It was just everything.
You know what? Let's just put it in a
cyberbullying.
Let's just put it in put a little button on it and just call it Canadian.
Yeah, I don't know. Hey, we skipped the whole intro of the show.
Yeah.
But that's what happens here. We get off. We fall out the car all the time, and then we got to get back in the car. Sometimes
ride the whip.
You know, a few times we was like 30 minutes in, and I never turned the show on. People were like, "Yo, I can't see the show." So,
it's on though, right?
It's on. Yeah. No, it's on. We don't have to start again. But everybody that's watching, you know, thanks for watching and shit. Make sure you follow us on all the social medias. Hit the fucking QR code over here, over my head. You know what I mean? We always start the show with our introducing our guests and then talking about our week real quick. Just let's recap the week, man. So then, how was your week?
Yeah.
I'm like, what did I do? It flies by. It was cool. I work for myself, so most of the time I get to do whatever I want.
Nice.
Yes.
The slow mornings that we talk about, I have those. So, but it's pretty cool. I live in the South now, so I'm outside of Memphis. So road trips are always a nice thing. I see my family, and then just like everybody else on social media, seeing what's going on and trying to stay sane and maintain joy. But I keep busy. I have 2 dogs that run my life like they're kids, and that's pretty much it.
That's every week.
Every
week I get up, I make some Bustelo.
Yeah, drink my iced coffee.
I stand.
That's life.
I read my smut.
Yes. Penthouse Forum it is.
I go to Pilates or yoga.
I do work out. I have a personal trainer that I used to have in New York. He trains me virtually because now I'm doing more weights, but I used to box.
Well, that's true, right?
Yeah, I used to box. And he teases me. He was like, one of these days I'm gonna want to get back in the ring. I'm like, those days are done.
When you get to a certain age, you're not supposed to get punched in the face on purpose.
Willingly put yourself in a position to get punched in the face.
In those situations anymore.
My reflexes still work, so I know how to bob and weave, and I counter.
Yeah, it's good.
So did Muhammad Ali, but he got hit too.
I feel like the hands are still dangerous, but why should I even be there?
Yeah,
what Posse call it? Risk assessment.
The risk assessment.
I I never desired to go pro, but I did amateur, so I was always wearing a headgear. I was, funny enough, I was just always worried about my teeth. I was worried about my teeth more than getting hit in the head. I was just like, what about my teeth? So I had my dentist make me special mouth guard for
extra thick.
Just if it fit perfectly with my teeth, extra thick, everything. Yeah, it was custom made. But other than that, I fought 4 fights, and
so you knocking bitches out.
Look, the best. It was my favorite thing to do was just take out every kind of aggression on them.
Mama said knock you out, and I'm mama.
I literally was. I was the oldest something in the ring at the time.
Okay.
Some of these girls were like in their early 20s, and I was in my mid 30s. So it was like
basically it was the Thanksgiving. Auntie versus that loose niece, that slack mouth niece.
Exactly. I'm like, don't let this baby face fool you.
Knock you out.
But it was fun. It was fun. I when they had the Golden Gloves in New York, I fought in the Golden Gloves.
All right.
That was like the peak of my fighting career.
All right. So putting you, like me and Daryl trying to organize a fight with you and Kaylee Reese.
Don't say Clarissa Shields. I will not ever.
Nah. Because we got a friend of the podcast, Reese. Have her come on.
No, she'll scare me.
Plus, I think she pivoted more to acting because she's getting some great gigs.
Yeah.
Some great gigs.
Shout out to Kaylee. You gotta come back on the show.
Nothing wrong with Tubi, but she's not Tubi. She's HBO.
She's HBO.
Yeah.
She's in the A leagues.
She's big screen, man.
She's nominated. She's been award nominated. Like that's.
She's in the big leagues. And the thing is she's not. And again, no knock on Tubi, but she's not in Tubi land. She's not a Tubi star. She's a real deal star.
Look, I've been watching Tubi, man. I watched the Marine on Tubi the other day. That shit.
Boy,
man, that might be worse than fucking Karate Kid Legends.
Karate Kids and Legends.
Look, I watched Tubi because they actually do have like good
the Creativerse.
Like they'll have like nice throwback classics.
Yeah, they do have some classics on there.
As a filmmaker, I watch some of those films and I just shake my head and then I remind myself, like, look, they made their film. They made their film.
Yo, WWE put so much money behind the Marine, man. They shot this dude's. There's like a car chase scene. Not that I'm giving anything away. And they shoot this police car with like 1,000 bullets, and it never blows up. It keeps driving. John Cena
no
never
broken windows
once, and he's just ducking, but he can still drive. He's still doing 100 miles an hour. Like, come on, man.
And I was gonna joke about that with her being her job, where it's like, on season 3, episode 2, you can see 1 minute it's 1 o'clock, and the next minute it's 3:23.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're
like I actually noticed that too in some movies. Like if I watch something a little bit too much, I'll start to notice little shit like that. I'm like, wait, how come the bottle was here, but then it's over there in the next shot? I'm like, wait, who moved it?
Because the continuity manager wasn't doing his job.
The biggest continuity thing that I ever saw in a film was Selma. I can't remember what scene it is, if they're in like a church or if an office, but there's a Fiji water bottle on the table. I don't think they had
props.
In the 60s.
Yo, they didn't have Fiji in the 60s. Those are my favorite ones where it's like
how these black people drinking Fiji?
It's supposed to be in the 80s.
These niggas water.
And it's like, yo, that thing wasn't even around in the 80s.
I was just 90s. Like, did we just time jump? Right?
Oh, I was gonna bring it up when we was watching the movie Life with Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence, and Martin gets out the car when like the boss man goes into town. I'm like, wait, how they playing Fortunate by D'Angelo? This song wasn't on back in them days. Fortunate to have. It's like the guy walking by with the boombox. I'm like, number one, how you walking with a boombox with a slow jam? And then the slow jams from the future. Listen, either way, that manager is a real deal job.
But look, sometimes it's, you know, you want to wonder if it's on purpose, if it's the Easter egg or whatever. But I think a serious movie like Selma, I don't think it was an Easter egg.
Nah, the Fiji water was definitely.
and it's highly ironic that I'm actually drinking Fiji. That's why I was drinking it off camera, because I didn't want people to see. Like,
so now everybody's gonna watch the movie and try to look for the water bottle.
The fake baby in American Sniper was one of my favorites too.
That's a whole page. That's a whole MySpace page for that.
Real quick, shout out to Saren, my main man Saren Robinson. I mean, he made this hoodie for me the other day.
That's dope.
I saw he posted this picture and I was like, I need that on a hoodie.
Twin dad, all right.
So he slapped it on the hoodie for me.
Twin dad magic, all right.
Super villain on Instagram. And shit, order one, man. He got a lot of art that he's willing to put on clothing, apparently. So
he's probably like, oh yeah, man, I need something to get away from these kids, man.
You know, he's either gonna be real upset if his phone starts blowing up, or he's gonna be like, yo, D, I owe you a free hoodie now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But shout out to Saren. Also, shout out to my main man Trev. So Trevin, he's gonna be on the show in a couple weeks. He gets a random tattoo every Friday. This is my favorite part about this guy.
Oh,
so then he just gets a random.
Yeah, he was telling me about him.
And
that's dope.
Some of them are amazing. But he sent me a Viking horn flask.
Oh wow!
Goblet.
Oh damn!
To drink out of. His wife bought him one for his birthday, and I was like, "That thing's amazing!" And he sent me one. I can't wait to drink when I go out to places.
When you getting pat down at the club, they're like, "What the fuck you doing with this?"
It came with a sheath, so you can wear it on your belt, but like, you can wear it on your belt, and but it doesn't, like, I can't drive with it because it's like goes into the side of the seat, like it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, and you're not gonna want to be drinking and driving. You could always keep it on the seat,
but
put a seat belt on it, make it feel secure.
But it comes with this little stand thing, right? And you slide it in there, and then it sits.
Oh wow!
Oh snap!
So I gotta bring this.
Put that in the cup holder.
Yeah, or I can just when I go out to the bar or whatever.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
And I just fucking have my little flask, and I can just slide it right in the thing, boom, and now it's not spilling all over the place. You know,
my man got a little cooler with ice, mixing his own drink at the bar.
No. I want to order my beer and just pour it into this Viking goblet.
Oh no! Hold on. You don't drink beer out of that. You gotta drink mead. Come on, man. You gotta stay on task. You know what the assignment is. You gotta find somebody that got mead.
When's the last time you ordered some mead at the bar?
I've never drank mead, number one. And I knew a dude that I used to work with he was trying to get mad honey because he was making his own mead. He was like, yo, you want to try it? I'm like, no, I'm straight. Because he was like one of them weird-ass dudes that would remind you of Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. I'm like, yeah, I don't need mead from you.
So I'm going to go back to my earlier point where mead is not readily available, obviously. I'm going to just put Guinness in mine instead.
Oh, that's still
okay.
That's a real, like, manly, heavy beer.
I think that's in line.
Imagine you guys keep saying products, and I got all these products on hand. I got my little Guinness thing over there.
Man, I'm trying to outprop you. That's the other thing I'm doing. He's the king of the props. He got something back there for everything. And he's always
which was weird that she said Fiji water, and I was actually trying to drink it off screen.
I don't nearly have as many interesting props like that. Man.
Yeah, from movie sets. Like,
I'm always amazed at the amount of stuff he just has laying around that always ends up going with the conversation. But
organically,
he was about to ask a question.
No, like I was gonna say, like, do you ever take like a prop from a movie set or a show?
I don't ever. Oh, well, I work in post. So
okay.
I get is the footage.
So you see the stuff that hits the cutting room floor.
Yes.
Be like, nah, nobody needs to see Drake's nipple.
Well, that was when I worked in TV, but when I work on documentaries, that's I'm getting the archival footage, I'm getting the interviews. So for example, a documentary that I did work on as an additional editor is Ladies First, a history of women in hip hop.
And hip hop, yeah.
Story of women in hip hop on Netflix. So I was an additional
Netflix.
editor, and that was
I watched that.
Yeah, that was one of those things where I helped create like a lot of stories. You're also watching all the interviews and figuring out what's an interesting story that people need to hear,
and how to edit it and weave them.
And one story that I worked on that I thought was really interesting was about Rod Digger being into physics and going to college, and she wanted to work at NASA. And I was like, first of all, I never knew that about Rod Digger, and I was like,
one of my favorite female rappers.
If I didn't know that, I'm pretty sure a good portion of people didn't know that about her. So I really. And
if they did, they're probably bullshit. No, I knew that. I knew that.
So I put together a little kind of a rough cut of what that story could be, and I tell you, that story was in and out, and I was like, it has to stay in. It has to stay in. And once that documentary came out, one of the things that a lot of people talked about on social was the fact that Rod Digger wanted to work for NASA and was into like
astroscience, astrophysics,
Mm-hmm. So I mean, because a lot of people think rappers don't go to college.
Yeah, the high school dropouts.
They think they came out of the womb wanting to be rappers. Everybody.
Yeah. The dude from Channel Live was a teacher, and he became a rapper, and he was smoking mad ism, so and probably went back to being a teacher.
Yeah. So I mean, I just I as an editor, when I find interesting stories, those are the things that we kind of really do is just kind of fight for the interesting stories and try to be neutral and non-biased.
Be fair.
I love hip hop. I love music in general, but I love hip hop. So working on that project was almost personal because a lot of my favorite hip hop artists were the ones that were interviewed. So like Yo-Yo, MC Lyte, Queen Latifah, and I was like, oh, we need to get Chica, we need to get all these like new artists or whatever. So you want to make sure you're showing not just the extreme view. So people are thinking, okay, hip hop, everybody's either like Little Kim or everybody's like
Muhammadiyah
or Left Eye, or they're like Left Eye,
Well, Left Eye is more in the middle, but Muhammadiyah, which was more like backpacky.
Yeah, because Muhammadiyah was also in there. But yeah, so it's just like you have to find the commonality even in these different styles. Like, look, I'm gonna listen to Meg. I'm gonna listen to Glorilla, but I'm also gonna, listen to, Moni Love and just Gangsta Boo.
And to keep it like, for me to keep it in a little button, I tell people that's the thing though about like hip hop versus rap now versus hip hop back then, where you had the spectrum. You could listen to a Little Kim, but then you could get like a Lauryn Hill, you could get a Queen Latifah or a Moni Love. But now the only thing they seem like they're pushing to the forefront is the Little Kim breeds. The spawns of Little Kim.
Yeah.
And then that's it. They only lean into the sex of it all.
Yeah.
So because like Rhapsody should be getting more love and more recognition than she does. But
sure.
They push those other artists to the forefront. But that's a whole nother bag of cats in itself. But
just gotta get a BBO, dog. Hey, I got an editing question for you.
Okay.
How much like
shout out Tierra Whack too?
Tierra Whack is one of my favorites.
Yeah,
I was gonna, but she's more of a singer. Her and Jane Hancock.
But I think she's still hip hop and she still raps. She still
But see,
lyricist.
Jane is more singing than rapping,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Tiara's more rapping than singing. But
I
Tiara's
think
one of my
I think
favorites.
I think they ran with Lauryn Hill's formula. So they're
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
we're gonna be on that line,
Yep.
and show
And
all
they're
our
more offsprings. They're more offsprings of the Queen Latifahs and the Lauryn Hill because Queen Latifah used to sing too.
Yep. Yep.
So
Exactly that.
I wish she wouldn't do action films, but that's a whole other thing.
Look,
But
we deserve
Equalizer.
look,
man, come on.
I mean,
We don't
I
talk
wanted to
about
watch an episode. I wanted
we
to
don't talk
watch an
about
Queen
episode.
we don't talk about Queen Latifah as the equalizer, dog. She threw the
Yeah,
lowest
yeah.
she threw the lowest spin kick I've ever seen in my life on TV, and they
look,
didn't edit it or use a stunt
Queen
double.
Queen is called Queen for a reason. She can do whatever she wants.
Nah.
No, but listen, there was that movie. There was that like that documentary style movie that they had, and then she's sitting there with a tits out. I'm like, yeah, this is something I didn't need to see.
I don't know. I don't think that was Queen Latifah, dog.
I don't either.
What were you watching?
Telling you.
I think
So
something
when you're
different.
editing these documentaries, right? Are you editing it how you want, or do you have like a storyboard that you have to follow with a documentary, like you do with a movie, or is it just like here's some footage, slap it together, and then we'll let you know what we think?
It depends on the story. It depends on who the director is, if there's a vision. So I'm working on two different projects right now, and they're two different approaches. So one one is it can be linear meaning like starting at this point and it has an
Yeah.
end point. Like we know
He was born, and then he died.
we know where we need to get to. And then there are stories where it's just like all these multiple themes that you want to touch on,
And it weaves into.
and you want to tell a story, and then you have to figure out how do you want to tell that story. So and interesting enough, I've been so engrossed with storytelling and watching different types of documentaries that most of the time I could just close my eyes and say, like, if I watch this documentary, what would it look like? And then you kind of start trying to pull that together, and so you might create a paper cut. So with a paper cut, you're actually pulling transcripts from the interviews and you're piecing it together. Or I might actually just watch the whole interview on, my edit Premiere. I use Premiere. Watch it and then make selects and then start moving things around like a puzzle and feel how it feels. It's very rough. It's very ugly in the beginning, but then the fun part comes. I've worked on projects where all I did was drop in archival footage. So there were editors that would make
wow
part, and then I would go in and just like, okay, let me go, paint by numbers.
Right.
Would leave a slate that says B-roll or in just a description of something that they would want there, and my task was to go find that something and put it in the flows.
Because like the two documentary styles that I've watched recently was High Horse on Peacock about the Black Cowboy experience. That wasn't linear; it was more themes, and with the themes, you could see how they take themes from what people are saying and then go with a theme and then they patchwork it. Then the other one was the one with Prince's Last Gift, I think it was called. Another one on Peacock. And it was just talking about like his charitable work that he wanted nobody to know about. And he's like, yo, if you tell people, I'm not doing this no more. Just keep quiet. Like him doing concerts for blind and deaf people, which is weird. But there was like he put extra subwoofers so they could feel the music. So I'm like, oh, that's actually pretty dope.
So it's all different types of styles. Like, I love music documentaries because you have this you can tell a story with song. Like I love Donna Summer has a documentary.
Yes, that one's good.
Oh my God. I was just like, now I want to listen to Donna Summer all day.
Yeah. Last day.
But it's just fascinating because you start looking at it, okay, as the persona of Donna Summer, and then as the mother and how she
As
was
a
at home
person.
as a person.
Yeah.
So and then Rick James documentary was,
That was crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, that was wild.
So there's so many different ways. There's no right or wrong way of doing a documentary. I've done documentaries where it was there are a couple of documentaries like this that are just archival footage. You never see an interview. It's all, I think Roberta Flack's documentary was like that. It was just all voiceovers or of the interviews. So I mean it's fun. It's like making collages and throwing things together and saying,
right. Have you ever made your own edit? Like you made an edit for like a client, but you didn't like it because you would have done it differently. Then you just make your own shit.
All the time. I have to remind myself, this is what the client wants.
So
like, when I watch it, I'm gonna watch it like this. You got a whole library of like this.
It's a difference when I'm making something for myself, or not necessarily myself, but if I'm the creative behind it.
So like you have like hard drives of like your cut.
Yeah, like
so like you'll make your movie, and then you're like, nah, this is what they want, so I'll give it to you. But you know what? Fuck y'all. I'll make something for me.
That's too much work.
Okay, all right. So no Snyder cut.
No, there's always the director's cut, and then worked with them. But I very rarely I do something on the side and be like, oh, I want to do this. I've worked on projects where things just hit the cutting floor, and just stuff that I've contributed and be like, oh, check this out. And they're like, yeah, for whatever reason, it could be licensing or whatever. That is the reason why it hits the cutting room floor. But
yeah, you can't have that Nabisco post in the background.
It's the song. We can't use the song.
I was gonna say, what's the one that stops production the most? Is it the music or like the product placement?
I mean, in documentaries,
there's not a lot. I mean, there's probably not that much product.
It's not that many product, but it's really about licensing and how you can, if you can get, because some footage is so old, it's hard to track down who holds the copyright of it. Then you have to figure out a way.
You're sponsored by Reebok, but the guy got a big Nike logo on his shirt.
Oh yeah,
going like this.
Yeah.
Like, yo, dude, back up.
Yeah, we've had interviews where we had to like, okay, let me
tape.
Yeah, or fuzz out the image of it because they're wearing logos. That's why whenever you have to do a record an interview or something like that, don't wear green and don't wear logos.
The other pattern is the stripes.
Or stripes.
Don't wear stripes. Because stripes bleed on camera.
It's a nightmare to deal with.
Oh, yes.
And then like if you're doing green screen or keying or everything green, it'll attract right to the green.
No, that's
so
what
you
I'm
have your head.
If I ever go on like Big Brother, I'm gonna just wear green and stripes and checkerboards and shit, so they can't use any of my footage. But I'm gonna have to use all my footage.
You'll say like buzzwords like, so Disney. Like, nah, man, we can't use this. We can't use this.
You'll end up like Marshawn Lynch. They're gonna bleep you so many times.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And you just saying Disney and Hulu and Netflix and like, nah, man, we're on Tubi, man. Stop saying that shit.
Yeah. So in the documentary world, right? Is Ken Burns the GOAT? Is he the one that everybody aspires to be? Or is he just like the guy who like everybody's annoyed by because he makes 80-hour documentaries?
Ken Burns is really respected because he's changed the way documentaries look and feel and
the texture.
He created a style how you're using archival footage, but there are so many people who still have an influence, and it's not just documentaries. So
who are your influences?
Spike Lee.
I would ask for black people. I would ask for like who's the Ken Burns of black people.
Yeah, Spike Lee.
It's got to be Spike, right?
Ava DuVernay.
Homeboy's getting into it. Peele.
Jordan Peele.
Is it? No, I keep getting them mixed up. Key and Peele. I always get those two mixed up.
But
Jordan Peele.
But honestly, as just a businesswoman and a creative, I'm also wowed by Issa Rae.
Yes.
I actually just kind of breathe, and she's just so real about how that process impacts her and how she feels. I'm like, okay, that's real, because like she did an interview and people were like, oh, you had all these accomplishments. She's like, I feel like I'm failing because I don't have anything on air. And that's how you feel, because I've worked on projects a long time that haven't been released, and I'm like, nobody knows what I'm doing, because I don't have control of when it hits the public.
Questlove is another one too that's getting big into the documentary scene.
Yeah.
With the Sly and Family Stone one that he did.
And his soul,
is he making them though, or is he just producing them?
He directs them, so
okay,
he produces it. But when you're the director, you have creative control of it. Like
he's not Elon Musk in the scene, like getting people to put it together and just slap his name on it.
Yeah, he has created whatever. I'm just gonna hypothetically say,
and he's hands on.
And he's probably saying, this is the stories that I want to make up. This is who should be right at this point. And then you have the people who actually do the work as the editors. But we're tasked as the translator of
the image
of what your thoughts are. I ask clients all the time. It's like, what do you see? What is it that you see? What is the tone? What is the vibe? Like, if you were to see this right now, what is it what comes to mind? And a lot of times people will tell me like time periods, types of music, or give me examples of other documentaries that they like. And then I try to put a spin on it and try to do something different for them.
Like the 3 documentaries I want to see made is one on Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
One on Mensa Musa, and another one on Marcus Garvey. Ooh. Those are the 3 that I would want to see made. But you see, because with Marcus Garvey, like, he's an American story that nobody ever really talks about, and when they talk about him, it seems like he's a foreigner.
Yeah, there are a couple of docs on Marcus Garvey, but I feel like they're like
they're weird.
They're small. Small.
Like A&E got a bunch of them. Like the documentary series on A&E, they had a few of him.
My when I was in film school, one of the things that I said that I would love, if I worked on it, or love to see, is a doc on Assata Shakur, because her book read like a movie, and I was like, this should be a movie or a doc.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
Like, there is a doc about her, and she's interviewed for it, but that's not what I want. Reenactments. I want.
Yeah. Is that like, so that would be like your holy grail of like, is that your project that you most want to do?
Yeah.
Your dream project?
Yeah. I it's one of those projects that is like, I know it would be controversial. I would probably end up on like most wanted list.
Nah, but you know what though? They might have you do a bullshit project. Well, I shouldn't say bullshit, but you might have to do like a Jessica Simpson or Britney Spears, in order to springboard to that. Like, all right, you the way you handle that, we'll let you handle this one.
Well, what I see a Assata Shakur doc would be like in the vein of Malcolm X, like Spike Lee's Malcolm X, where you would have to like go out and like guerrilla style and fundraise it, ask all the rich people I need money to finish the film, type of thing, because
Malcolm X selling the hats and the shirts, like the merchandising helped pay for the movie. People don't know that.
You never know how a lot of these films are, you paid out of pocket, and then they're sold just to get distribution. So a lot of these, so a lot of times these, you don't have big studios that are contributing on the back end. So, there's so many different ways to make a movie. I mean, look, I've shot documentaries just using the iPhone.
We've had Da Vinci on here before, and we talked about financing and how it's tricky. Like, people think just like having a movie is just write it and shoot it. No, there's a lot. And you're showing us the aspect of post where people don't realize, like, post is very critical. Post is probably more important than anything.
That's how it gets out there.
That's like that's the biggest part of the budget.
And you have to pay your editors, right? You can't. Most people think we take your footage, we put it in a computer, and then voila, we can have it in 3 weeks. No. It is. There's so many different stages to editing that it doesn't happen overnight. You can work on just one part of a doc for like a month, and it's just one part. And moving forward, it's hard to do to keep the
and see that's why I went to Hope High School, Hope Essential versus going to classical, because they had a media program then. So like I had to learn every aspect of the production and the post. Huh?
You ain't passed the test, dog.
No, I didn't even take it. Honestly, in all honesty, I didn't even take the test because I knew if I took the test, I was gonna pass. And then my father would have got mad that I didn't go to classical. So I just didn't take the test.
Here's what I did.
I'm great at taking tests.
When you're talking about like high school, like my journey to get into filmmaking wasn't, I was doing it in high school. What I did was I worked in theater. So we had a whole theater class where everybody would act, and I remember, and you had to audition to get in the class, and I went to the teacher, Ms. Duhamel, and I said, all I want to do is stage manage. I just want to learn how to stage manage and run the lights, maybe read the scripts, all of that. And she was like, really? And I was like, yeah, that's all I want to do. I do not want to have to be the acting. I could do a stand-in, but I'm not here to be acting. She was like, okay. And that's how I got into that class. And because of that, it makes it easier to work with actors and talent, because I've learned those kind of tools as actors, all these things. And those are some things that people don't realize directors need. I feel like all directors should have taken an acting class at some point. That's why you have a lot of actors who become directors, because they understand how to work with actors.
Yep.
Right.
And just understanding a story and what you kind of emotion you need and what it takes to get to that emotion. So I kind of went a roundabout way.
And see, that was the dope thing about the media program. Shout out to Mr. Barr. But the thing is we had to do everything. We had to write a show, like the pre-production. Then we had to do production, not just production. We had to work the camera. We had to work the lights. We had to work the editing board with switching from camera to camera. We had to work the sound. We had to do the radio show, the morning announcements. Then we had to be on camera. And then we had to edit. We had to learn the chroma key. We had to learn the whole aspect. So he was like, well, in everything that you did, what do you like to do in this? But you have to do everything. So, doing everything, I've gained an appreciation for the things that, even though I didn't like doing it, I appreciated the work that went into doing it.
Yeah.
I write and I'm talented. That's it. I'm not trying to get nothing else.
We had to do it all. I had a couple of shows. I had to be on a couple of shows. I had to write one for the death penalty and another one for affirmative action. And because he liked my write-ups, I had to actually be the one interviewing people on the show. And then motherfucker really had me editing the shit on the back end. He was like, well, make yourself look good. I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
he gave me like a complete project for the
I
whole
just
year
want
because I had to write it and do everything.
I just want to show up and sit in crafty until it's my turn.
Even
And then I want to do my thing, and then be like, "Do you need me for anything else?" No.
Even in
All right,
high
I'll be
I'm in
school,
my dressing room.
even in high school, I knew I was going to be behind the camera. Because I remember.
Yeah.
Did you have Miss Needs as English?
Yeah, freshman English.
Yeah, so I had Miss Needs.
She just passed away recently.
Yeah. And I was also, a cheerleader, so she was my advisor, and she used to always ask me, like, Brigham, what do you want to do when you graduate from high school and college? And I said, well, I want to be a film director. I want to be a filmmaker. And she was like, you should be in front of the camera. You should be like a reporter. I was like, no, because when you're behind the camera, you make more shots. You call the shots. You control the story. And she was like,
you're the puppeteer, not the puppet.
You're wasting your time. You're wasting your time.
Yeah, you're the puppeteer.
She wrote all of my college recommendations.
She was a stickler, but I mean, look, she knew her stuff, and she definitely influenced. And I always hear in my head when I was, trying to pursue what I wanted to do. But I tell a lot of students when people ask me questions about getting in this industry, is as long as you have an idea of what you want to do, treat everything that you do as it's part of your job, or it's to get you there, right? So, in high school, I worked at ABC 6.
Oh,
yeah. And so, so that was, and it was just a summer job, and they ended up keeping me for 2 years. I worked there after school. And all I was doing was I worked in the programming department, and I would, because it's news, is also different from television and everything, but I was trafficking all the information, like the lineup for the whole day.
Be careful of trafficking. Be careful of trafficking.
Yeah.
Buzzwords.
That's what they call it on television.
It's gonna make this clip go viral.
Oh man, we might have to edit this and post, Daryl.
Nah, it's live.
But so basically, I was just understanding like the run a show and all of these different things, and also getting to like our affiliates, what we were going to have on air, and all of these things. And ironically enough, because of that job, that's how I got into Nickelodeon, because they were like, you're the only one I see who has some kind of understanding of programming, so even in college, when you're working on these class projects, work on it as this is the thing that's gonna go to festivals and things like that. Don't think of it as a class project. And that's how I approached everything. I approached everything as it, like even my class projects used to have Makeda Filmworks. That's the name of my company. Had Makeda Filmworks on it, because I used to make my credits look like an official movie. So it would be like, a film. I used to do all of that, and everybody else was like, okay, she's being an extra. I was like, no, I'm making a film. And that, and then when it was time for me to just kind of go off on my own and create my company 20-something years later, I used the same company I used to use in college as my company.
That's what's up.
And before we pivot over to the movie of the week, I would say I always wanted to go to the New York Film Academy. That was like my thing, but life happens, and I'm here.
But you can still go to the New York.
But I can still go, and that's the thing that I'm learning, especially like with Harrison Ford, because apparently he started when he was 47, and I'm 47. So hey, it's my time, and I'm in a transitional stage in life. So
save your money and use YouTube University. And all you need to do is pick up use your phone and have
now that I'm settling in, And I'm like, all right, well, I'm in a transitional stage. What do I really want to do? And it's not just to pay bills, but it's to live the life that I want to live. Because even with last night working at the nightclub, where I'm looking tired as fuck because it was a rave, so it was smoky as fuck, and boots and pants and lights and nothing but drunk people that aren't drinking at the bar. I don't understand this. Either way, but it's the life I chose. You know, that's what I kept telling myself when I had to clean up some throw up. I'm like, hell, this is the life I chose. I got gloves. Speaking of which, I got gloves and I got bills to pay, and this is the life I chose. But what life do I choose going forward? So
look, sometimes you got to do those things and create your dream and your passion. Because I used to do the same thing.
You got to do it at the
I
same
used to
time
be
until one can take the place of the other.
Yeah, I used to be a bartender. I used to work in retail.
I'm a ball back. I'm the ball back. I'm the ball back.
Yeah, I used to do those things while, you know, working in television and doing, because you still want to have that money aside to do what it is that you dream to do. You have bills. It's real life, you know.
See, and again, like before I get to the movie of the week, I would say the one thing that I've actually learned a few years ago, is working as a barback. You see so many things, and there's an authentic story that I can tell from the point of view of being a barback, rather than being like, yo, I want to write a story about being in a nightclub or somebody that goes to a club and club goes. I've actually seen so many events in over 20 years. I can have an actual authentic point of view when it comes to it, which now I'll pivot to the movie of the week, which I picked the movie Dope, which is a movie that is done in a style and it tells a story. I don't give spoilers. I just give a feel of a movie and the parameters.
Don't worry, watchers of the podcast. I'll be spoiling that shit for you.
He does that.
It came out like 10 years ago, and if you haven't seen it by now, then when I tell you what it's about, you'll go see it.
But I never saw American Psycho, so like for me watching the podcast, I'm like, all right, so I got that to look forward to.
I tell you one thing, as I've kind of told you my background in television. I'm always a sucker for any kind of teen flick, you know, teen angst. I'm in a school, you know, that kind of thing, because, you know, it's very rare and has a different experience of being in, you know, high school or college or whatever. So I'm a sucker for those type of.
And you see, me too. And you see, that's where like my last movie was, I believe, was Attack the Block. So this one, it's teens, but it's a different concept. But they're facing a different kind of attack because when you're watching the movie, on the surface, it's one thing, where it's teenagers that are not, they're too black to be white, but too white to be black.
They're the nerds.
They're nerds, they're geeks, and they fall into that weird zone.
Yeah.
You know, they don't really fit in with the white folk, but they don't really fit in with the black folks. So they're in that limbo. So me in high school, that was like, I got along with everybody.
Look, that's most kids in high school, but that's not the story that gets the lead. It's always the jock. It's always
exactly.
it's
so
the dropout.
Yeah, you know, the sensationals, you know.
Yeah.
But with this movie, it just talked about it like weird things that can happen in the hood when you're in that life and you're in like, or you're hood adjacent. You're not hood, but you're hood adjacent.
Yeah.
You know, you might drink Kool-Aid like we talked about off mic, but you know, your family's not on that time. You know what I mean? Yeah. So with this movie, I like the feel, the story in itself, and the way that it's told and how it progresses and how it takes weird branches, but then some things are connected. You'll see with like how some things are weirdly connected. I love that connective tissue in a movie where something random happens, but somewhere somehow it's connected, and it could be a MacGuffin to something else, a pivot point to something else. So I love the story, the plot, the action in it. But then for me also, I love the music because,
Oh
like you were
yeah,
saying
yeah.
earlier, how storytelling can be done through music.
Mm-hmm.
At first, I'm like, even though I watched it before, I got thrown off because I'm like, wait, is this movie in the 80s,
Yeah,
90s? Like,
yeah,
and I was like, oh shit, no, this is, and it's
yeah,
like modern times. So I'm
yeah,
like, oh shit. So, but the music captures what goes on in the scene,
yeah,
so I love that in a movie. For me, that's one thing that I will punch up
yeah.
in my movie, that I will produce or direct.
I
But then
definitely
also,
agree with the music part. That was the highlight.
but then like the whole story and how it's buttoned up at the end, because we was talking about high school and what you project, or what we project ourselves in high school, and what we want to do. And sometimes there's external factors that affect what we do, where it's not a dreamed, forgotten. It's just a dream deferred.
Hmm.
So that's the way I'm looking at things in my life, where it's a dream deferred. And now it's to get back to those deferments and
Hmm.
pay attention to them. So, New York Film Academy, watching movies like this, Attack the Block, and some other movies that I've picked throughout the times, like Putney Swoops. Um, I try to present, even though I watch a lot of crap, to be very honest.
Sometimes you got
Uh,
to.
yeah, sometimes if you're gonna appreciate the flowers, you have to appreciate the rain. I mean, it's
Hmm. And
so.
you gotta see the weeds.
Know what I mean, or smoke it. So the thing is like with this movie, I just like the shades of things throughout the movie. The different
Hmm.
characters and how it's inclusive
Hmm.
without being
In your face.
oversaturated. Yeah, in your
Yeah.
face, yeah. So for this movie, I give this movie a solid 4.5 because it is one of those movies I'm smoking and I'm watching it and I'm getting it, like, the
Yeah.
music, the surround sound, when the bass doom 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 doom, and they're
Yeah.
running, you know, like being in the club. I work in the club. I know them type of promoters.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
the type of dude working the door. I've seen people get slapped. You know what I mean? I've seen shit like that.
Yeah.
So for me, 4.5.
Well, I mean, I've seen this movie a couple of times, and it's definitely a rewatch movie. And I think a lot of times, depending on where you are in your life, will depend on if you like the movie. So the first time I saw it, I was just like, "Oh, this is very corny."
Cute.
Oh, cute. I wouldn't say, but it was just like because of the quirkiness of the
Mm.
character, they were just so over exaggerated of being like the geek or the nerd or the alternative
Yeah, he had the Wesley
crowd. Yeah,
Snipes hairstyle.
yeah.
He had
It
the
was just it
Demolition
was
Man haircut.
yeah. But
Yo,
watching,
the fake box was killing me.
but oh my god, it was so bad. It
That was the
looked like
worst hairpiece,
I was like, is this a
man.
Tyler Perry wig?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Like, wait, who shaped you up? Like,
But you know what? Shout out to Shamik Moore. He does these characters where he embodies those characters, right? And
mm.
you never really see him. There's always something different, even if it's he knows that wig was bad. He knows it was, but
He was rough as Raekwon though. He was rough as
oh
Raekwon though.
yeah, yeah. But he still
That was rough.
in Dope, he still had the nerve to pick this.
Yeah. Like, what is he doing?
I'm just like, you're not making it any
It was, man, they got to do better.
No, but you're not gonna bring him down. No, you're not bringing him down.
I think he's just he was brilliant, and he just always brings the extra these extra quirks to whatever character he's playing that
Mm.
that makes you forget that okay, maybe this is a part of the character for it to look lame like this or whatever.
Mm.
But I like that. I did I like the story. There's always this subtext of a a crush or whatever. So I thought that
Mm.
was really sweet. Oh, I thought it was, we were talking about you know, being in high school and people telling you, kind of trying to guide your future or whatever. And I always like the part where they talk about his college essay. And his college essay
Yeah.
about trying to figure out what was it? It was something about ice
Who are you?
yeah, it was like
Yeah. He had something on Ice Cube.
he was trying to
Oh
write
yeah,
some
yeah, yeah.
Ice
Okay,
Cube
I'm like,
song,
I'm trying to
right?
think at the end or the
Yeah, who are you
What
though?
today was a good day. I think they were trying to figure out what the day was, and that was his.
Yeah, well, what day was
He
it?
was like, there's evidence, and this is
Might be a
crazy.
Tuesday.
But it made,
Like what?
it made me think about my college essay.
Mm.
My college essay was about Malcolm X.
Uh,
And I remember my I can't remember who was my advisor at the time, but they were like,
I can't remember mine.
ma'am, how, you can't write about Malcolm X. I'm like, why can't I not write about Malcolm X? We're talking about transformation, and I paralleled Malcolm X and his transformation from who he was to like me going to college.
wow.
Turning from red to
yeah,
Malcolm.
Okay.
so like
Mr. X.
I've grown, and now I'm on a journey to discover and create and change the world. It was crazy.
Wow, you poured it on. I don't even remember my college essays.
I mean,
Yeah, I can't remember mine.
The guy said, "It's like you're this might prevent you from getting into schools." I said, "It's not going to prevent the schools I want to get in. You want me to go to URI, you want me to go to Providence College or whatever, but I want to go to a black school."
You know what? Spellman might like this one.
I was like,
you know what I mean? Or Hillman.
Clark
It's a different world. Hillman would like this essay.
So, but hey, I did get into URI, and when I and when I did tour URI, they told me, "Don't come here. Go to Howard." They were like, because we just don't have what you're looking for, and you're gonna waste your time here.
Yeah.
Just go to Howard.
Yeah.
But so I like those. It's those things that were in Dope that kind of spotlighted how we're treated in the school system, how we're kind of, even if it's your own telling you, they always discourage you thinking it's helping you. And it's not. You got to let kids be who they are.
Homeboy Stacy, because if anything, a couple of movies ago, I had The Wood, and Stacy was the gangster.
Oh,
Stacy was the gangster, so I had a little Easter egg in this one for you, Daryl. You didn't pick that,
Yeah.
That's your reoccurring character now.
Yeah. So I'm trying to get connective tissue, like I said earlier.
The security guard.
Yeah, Stacy. And like you said, Stacy wasn't helping him. Like, nah, you're just a geek. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And he had the gun and the shit. Oh, damn, spoiler. But either way. But now Stacy was the gangster, slapping dudes, and now he's the security guard in the school. I mean, that for me was golden.
People grow, man. People grow.
Yeah.
People grow.
Unless you're Cuba Gooding, and then you're the same character in every movie.
Or you digress.
But
But no, like they go from Malcolm X to Homeboy, Stacy from to security guard.
I also like that this is a contemporary flip side of Boys in the Hood. I used to argue that everything doesn't have to be extreme. We don't have to be extremely violent. We don't have to be extremely, all these whatever it is. There's somewhere in
Yeah.
the middle, and I feel like
Exactly.
Dope was right in the middle. Those are
Yep.
the kids like that exist in the hood. Um, exist everywhere.
I was that kid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
you
was
can
more
relate
on the
to.
street than the rock side, but
Look,
yeah.
I mean, I didn't grow up in the hood. I had
Mm.
friends who did. So I still related to that character because I still felt like an outsider. I'm, seeing all these things and was like, okay, I'm not gonna go over there.
Yeah.
Like
Nah,
we go take another route.
yeah, I mean, not my roommate Will. He's a black dude from Antioch, California, and he listened to nothing but metal and rock.
Mm-hmm.
He knew a little bit of rap, but he was more rock, and I loved it. And me
Mm-hmm.
and him was cool enough to be roommates.
Yeah.
So how to
Know what
Yeah.
I mean?
if we had to rate it, we rate in 1 through 5.
Mm-hmm.
So
What you got?
I would give it a 4.1.
Yeah,
I like the story. It was quirky.
the hairstyle.
I have watched it a couple of times. That's why I can rate it higher. If this was
Mm.
the first time I watched it, it might have been rated lower. But I enjoyed it. It's definitely a rewatch, and it was. I've rewatched it a couple of times. It could
Mm.
it could be a cult classic if it wanted to be.
it definitely has cult classic potential. I mean, as someone who grew up hood adjacent for the most part, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as somebody who had I have multiple circles. You know what I mean? I got the super hood dudes. I got the drug dealer friends. I got the the real smart friends. I got the rock friends. I got the drinking friends. I got the beer friends. I got the hard alcohol friends. I even know a couple
So
crackheads.
wait, the drinking friends and the hard alcohol friends are two different people?
Yeah, because you got the beer, you got the fat
Yeah.
boys. They just
And
drink
then you
beer
got
and shit.
and then you
Then
got
you
the
got
people
the
drinking
hard liquor
liquor.
dudes that
Yeah.
every
The
time
people
they
with the
show,
handle
yeah, they show up with a fifth. You know what I mean? You got the
in
dudes
the
that
back
show
of
up
their
with a
car.
fifth, and you got the dudes that show up with the case. You know what I mean? And then you got box wine, but that's a whole different
And
people.
yeah.
The wine sippers. That's much more.
Refined.
It's much
Very
more
refined.
refined. But most of my
Pinky ring
people,
out. Pinky ring out.
either come up with a bottle or a case, man. But
Yeah.
Mm.
also shout out to this generation for getting their version of
Or
Lisa Bonet.
or a horn
And
Oh
horn
yeah.
flask.
like this generation gets a version of Lisa Bonet that we had. So
Yeah.
Mm.
shout out to Zoe
I was
Yeah.
thinking
Kravitz
that too.
and the ageless wonder Rick Fox in this motherfucking dog. I don't know what Rick Fox got the Magic Johnson drugs because that dude don't age, dog. Um,
Nah, but he
I
got
like
that
the
old
movie,
man
man.
walk
Like,
though.
That's basketball knees.
that's basketball. Yeah, that's basketball news. But like overall,
Yeah.
I thought it was a smooth movie, man. I remember I think I watched this in the theater.
Mm.
And so it's been a while since I watched it, but I was like, man, this movie's pretty dope. I mean, ASAP's still trash as an actor, but I mean, he had a much lighter role in this one. This is one of his early
Yeah.
roles.
Yeah, he's not Joey Badass.
Did
He's
you?
not gotten better at all.
I I finally peeped Vince Staples in the background. I didn't see him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vince is in there.
Slippery slope.
You know,
Slippery slope.
Tiger's in there. There's some rappers in there, man.
Spoiler.
But yeah, I liked it, man. And I'm gonna just spoil it for everybody. You know what I mean?
Tiger.
Group of semi nerdy kids. You know what I mean? Come across, some of their hood friends, and end up with some drugs that they shouldn't have. And so they had to sell them shits. And because they're nerds, they sold them shits online, and sold all them shits. And then
Yeah.
hilarity ensues. You know what I mean? With the weird suburban, maybe white dude, maybe Middle Eastern, or just
From
mixed.
Workaholics.
And
From Workaholics, that show. I
he
like
got
that
all-
show.
he's like the suburban thug, because there's always a suburban thug in all these little movies.
Oh yeah. The internet thug.
For me, it falls somewhere between like The Wood and like maybe
No,
like House Party. You know what I mean? Like you know,
yeah.
Yeah.
it's in my pantheon of like these movies. Like
Yeah.
it's not as dark as like a kid's. You know what I mean?
Nah.
Um,
Or
and,
even Boys in the Hood.
and it's not
Yeah.
as it's
It's
not
like
as
if Ricky was a geek.
come on, man. I'm in the middle of a thought. I'm in the middle of a thought. You throwing me off. Damn.
I was trying to help you.
Oh man, I was in there. You just gotta let me finish, dog. You gotta let me finish. This is what happens when you drink for the podcast, everybody. You know, you be fucking. I'm just fucking with you, dog. I know you've been maybe.
Nah, that was 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. See,
But
he's
yeah,
not.
God.
He got no sleep. He be interrupting the podcast, and I fall out the car, and I can't get back in the car because this dude pushed me out here, hit the ejector seat on me, and he's
And I'm
swerving.
swerving, and you can't jump back in.
I can't jump back in the car and shit. But anyway,
Mhm.
it sits right in the middle for me. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna probably slap a solid. I'm gonna slap a 3.9 on it. I don't think it's quite a 4 for me, but
Mhm.
you know, if it's on, I'll watch it. But I'm probably not looking for it because when you said it, I was like, damn, I ain't seen this movie. It came out in 2017, I think, 2015.
2015.
You know, I definitely probably haven't watched it since I saw it in the theater. Maybe like one other time it might have been on TV, and I was like, oh shit, I ain't seen this in a minute. Plus, I've been in like a Tubi hole, but that's a whole other story. Yo, Tubi,
It was on
like, so
Tubi.
my thing with Tubi is I'll just go there and I'll just whatever's in that first box.
Oh,
That's what I'm watching. That's how I ended up watching the White Ass Marine. And then it plays on. But hey, we up against it, man. Dana, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
And chopping it up with us.
Yes.
How can people get in touch with you if they have movie projects that they want to pitch?
Where's
my props? Where's my props?
They can follow me on Instagram at Makeda Film Works. Is Makeda Film Works. And
Make the film works.
Yeah, and you can see all the stuff that I've worked on, and it spans from a little bit of everything, not just documentaries, but I've worked on podcasts. I've worked on social campaigns, and then I also share like great film clips in my Insta stories. So yeah, I'm always rooting for everything Black. So you'll definitely see the Black side of film. You know, I still watch everything else, but I really want to highlight the Black Hollywood.
Yeah, Black Hollywood doesn't get nearly enough light on it. You know,
yeah, Jordan Peele with the monkey paw.
There's a lot of talent. There's a lot of talent in Black Hollywood right now that doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Not just Tyler Perry.
To the Black creators, though, I'll just say, don't pigeonhole yourself, man. Make different shit.
Yeah.
And don't put it out if it's trash.
No, put it out if it's trash.
Or maybe put it out if it's trash. Actually, yeah, put it out.
They might think it's dope.
Look,
they might think it's dope, and it's Karate Kid Legends.
You're right. Actually, put out everything. Put out everything. I don't even know
let
why
perfectionism kind of hold you back. And that's a lesson that I had to learn because I wasn't posting a lot because I didn't think it was perfect. And then I had to, get away from the perfectionism because sometimes people don't see your mistakes.
That's me.
The people don't see your mistakes like you see them.
And
so
just put all the stories, man. Like I'm all like worn out of like hood stories. You know, I'm all worn out of like Black family reunions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I need to see like I'm writing something right now that's different than anything I've seen.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm writing a story that is more like Black mythology and meets boxing because I have a thing about boxing. But
wait, what did you say? Oh, meets boxing. I thought you said meat boxing. I paused there for a second. Meat boxing. Woo, that's a hard pause.
That's when they just hang a big bit of beef in the ring.
Because look, boxing is very spiritual when you're training for it. And you also feel kind of superhuman. You almost feel like a god. That's what your kind of alter ego feels like. So I'm writing a story that is kind of parallels those two kind of stories.
Yeah, I have one. I have one based in a nightclub. I don't want to say too much because I believe I'm sitting on gold because originally I had it as a movie, but now I have it as a TV series. Now that I'm seeing how things can be serialized
Yeah.
and fleshed out, seeing that things aren't like 24 episodes because you're trying to make syndication. You can have a series, a whole season, 8 episodes, or if you go to the UK, you can have four episodes, and that's a whole season.
Shit,
So
you
it
got
depends on who you're marketing it
four
to.
episodes, and the last episode is 15 minutes. Luther,
My biggest my biggest suggestion is just shoot something. Just
Hmm.
record it, create it. Because look at how Bel Air became
Yeah,
Bel Air.
yeah,
It was just
a
a
concept.
concept. And
Yep.
sometimes you only need a concept. Some writers have gotten book deals off of, a
Concepts.
concept. So,
right?
I have a lot of conceptual work that I
look,
can flesh out
just
from Little League Baseball to nightclubs to regular day single dad paying child support.
look,
So
you
I
were
got life
mentioning
experiences.
you were mentioning the stories that you're tired of hearing. Well, I read romance. Let's put some respect on romance genre of books.
Mm.
And I've read
Hey, those romance books
everything.
are nasty than a
Look,
motherfucker,
look,
dog.
look. I've read everything from the Gangsta Love to,
Oh,
To Daniel
oh, you
Steele.
reading? You reading
no,
that? You reading
no, no,
that? That
no,
that
no.
Black Harlequin smut?
Look, you have these black indie writers are writing some dope ass books,
Nasty.
and we got
Mm.
yes, the spice, the
Whoa,
spice
whoa,
needs
whoa, whoa,
spicing.
whoa! First it was meat boxing. Now it's
It's,
But but look, I read and then I find what I like, and then I also
Mm.
find what's missing, and
Mm.
that helps gear me to what I want to write.
you right. So you're writing black fantasy smut.
Uh, not fantasy. It's still reality.
Note what was said. No, what was said. No, you know what? It's just like Bitterroot in the comic books world, and Black Cotton in the comic book world, where it's black writers having black stories rather than just having black writers and having aliens and superpowers.
Look,
It's
and the
black
beauty
people as the lead.
and the beauty of it is there's no box, right? If you want
Mm.
to have uh, a a one night stand that's in your head, it's in the book, it could happen, right? Or you end up with the football player, the MVP of the Super Bowl, it can happen.
Hmm. Yeah.
I think that's the beauty of a lot of these books and indie writers, because these are types of books that just wouldn't get these huge book deals, and some of them do. And
Mm.
I just think those are overly hyped. Sometimes it's the press that helps them, but there are a lot of talented indie writers, just like there are very talented indie filmmakers.
The
And so
filmmakers, yep.
yeah,
So
so that's why I say you don't need a lot of money to make a film.
before we get out of here, who's one black indie filmmaker to watch other than yourself?
Oh my God, that's a tough one.
I'll say shout out Stanley Boyce
who should
because
we be
Stanley just
checking
had
out?
a movie release here.
Well, there you go. It's really tough for me. I can name a title more so than I can name the filmmakers a lot of times, because I watch films differently.
Right.
I'm watching for the storytelling. I'm watching for the craft, how the editing style. I'm watching for. I do not watch it like a regular audience person.
Yeah, see, Matty Rich was the one that I was looking out for. Even though like Straight Outta Brooklyn is a harsh movie. That's why I've never suggested it as a movie to watch, because it's a very hard rewatch. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. Talking about Shamik Moore's hair. Oh my goodness. But that movie's hard to watch, but Matty Rich was one for me.
Yeah.
What's a movie though, or a book? Like who should we be checking out? Who's on your radar that we should be checking out that we might not know?
Because you said Issa Rae earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, but everybody's on Issa Rae's on everybody's radar.
everybody,
We're talking about who's not on the radar.
Oh,
No, I'm trying to prime the pump.
I
wish,
Don't prime it.
I wish I was more prepared for this question.
See, that's what.
There's so much. And like that's why I was like looking.
Yeah, but Issa Rae's not even on. She's on everybody's radar. So like, who's not on the radar? Or who's somebody that you know personally?
No, but there was a time when she was an up and coming because the lady that does the shot.
That's not the question.
Let me think.
As you're thinking, who's the one that does the shot?
Oh, you're talking about Lena.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost called her Lena Horne, but that's not her name.
That's one of my favorite beauties of all times, Lena Horne.
You know, I'll tell you a movie that I would would recommend you watch, and it could be on the line that you're thinking of. It's called Exhibition of Forgiveness, I think it is.
Exhibition of
I think that's what it is. Yeah, I wish I was more prepared.
When did it come out?
Hold on.
An exhibition of evil, an exhibition of fireworks.
It's not like Tubi movies.
Or exhibiting. Maybe it's exhibiting.
Exhibition on screen.
So what's the concept of the movie, though? What's the concept of the movie?
It's exhibiting forgiveness. I looked it up. It's exhibiting forgiveness. It came out in 2024. It stars Andre Holland and Andrea Day. It's about an artist, and of course she's a musician. They're a couple. It's that battle line of putting your art out there, and it becomes a commodity, like people buy it.
So it's not like The Photograph.
It's
because Stanfield was also in thing, which was a low key surprise.
Yeah, Photograph is really good. It does uncover everything, but this one is a little different approach, and so I would recommend you check that out.
All right.
Wait, Issa Rae was in The Photograph too, right?
Issa Rae was in The Photograph. This one's on Hulu. I watched it recently. It surprised me. The reason why I recommend it is because Andre Holland's character is the lead. It's follows his story. It's dealing with men and their emotional awareness, and so it'd be interesting to get your point of view of movies that deal with topics that men don't really talk about, basically.
So it's like the Billy D's point of view in Mahogany.
It's I mean, kind of.
Okay, well, all right.
Let's guess what it is. Just let's go watch it. So
watch it.
What's the name of the movie again?
Exhibiting Forgiveness.
Exhibiting Forgiveness.
It's streaming currently on Hulu.
Hulu.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Titus Kafar is the director and the writer.
So, oh shit! I totally forgot. I got to get myself together to go to this Rhode Island Hip Hop Hall of Fame thing. And they're inducting Around Midnight and Black Rep. I'm not accepting the award, but I should at least be in the house, as tired as I am. But I just noticed the time. My bad.
Oh, yeah. No, we out of here anyway, man. As always, thank you again for coming on. Go check her out on all the social.
Make the films.
Make the film work. Make the film work. Or
I'm gonna have to follow because I'm gonna have to give out my concepts. I love my concepts.
You never
make sure you follow us on all the socials. Hit the QR code, man. Like and subscribe and share it with all your friends and all that. Shit, that's gonna do it for another episode.
Don't sign up. I want to tell you my concept before after we end the show.
Okay.
All right.
No, because some people just they just log out